Yeah, gonna talk to you guys a little bit. Let me just grab a stick here for Kita. That's good. Ready? So, what I want to talk to you guys about is, and the name there is Servant King. Now, what I'm going to do is just kind of go overall how I look at this and why I think it's so important. And this is kind of like my introduction video for you guys to go take a look at that series, and then take a couple, or look at a couple passages in the Bible. I know a lot of you, if you're atheist like I used to be, and be like, no, I don't want to touch the Bible. And when I was atheist, I would agree with you. I had a lot of problems with the religions. I seen a lot of blood on their hands, and it just didn't make sense to me looking at it from how they've structured it. But let me ask you this. If you're into the flat earth and you know about that lie and come into the truth of that, the one thing that I asked myself was, I was so wrong about where I lived, and they were able to pull such a lie. Now, what if I'm wrong about the Bible? What if I'm wrong about religion? And that got me into, and plus, flat earth, I don't subscribe to any other model, really. I think they're diversions, in my honest opinion. Plus, I'm a big believer that we need to just break the globe model right now, and then put our efforts into theorizing and investigating what we actually are living in. After that's done, I think we're way ahead of ourselves. We don't need to take 3 steps ahead of the problem that we're living in right now, and that's the globe model does not work. So with that said, let's, if you're still watching, agree that we all know about the flat earth, and that's my reference point to Servant King. To me, waking up to flat earth is only half of it. You're still left with either, and that's where I think maybe some of these models, why we see them, is people just, you can only research so much before you're coming to, and Todd's, he's at that point himself. There's not much more to research. He knows 100%. I know 100%. And, but you're left with, you need to do something. That's why we have our tour. Some people just don't know what to do, so they just keep making videos. Some do hangouts. Everybody has what they do. Now, I went and I stumbled on Servant King, and I only watched the first 9 episodes, which is the confusing part of it, because that's his first 9 are just about the confusion. He built a 23 episode series that goes through it all, and it starts with kind of opening each door in its place so that you can understand the severity and the complexity of the lie. Now, I could see almost where the government's coming into flat earth, and people have noticed this. It's almost like they're pushing it in one way. I'm not sure what to say there. Some people want to say that it's a psyop. Maybe that's how they're doing it. They want to flip it and try to work that angle. But they could also be doing it this angle, is that they're trying to still hide a bigger lie. They'll give up every other lie, but they definitely don't want the last lie to be revealed. And to me, after watching The Servant King, which I'm going to leave a link to the series in below, and I advise everybody to go watch it, spend the time. In total, it's going to take over 24 hours worth of viewing to watch it all. And it's from a Canadian perspective, but this applies to everybody in the world because it deals with the Bible at the end. And even for Marcus, the man that found out about this and presented the videos, he doesn't come from a religious standpoint looking at it. He comes from more of an atheist standpoint and logical, does his research, and that's what that appealed to me. Plus, every step of the way through the video, and I advise you to do it to prove to yourself, don't trust him. Go and look up everything he says. Go read it up. Like every word that he talks about, go check it up yourself and see what it says. That's how you gain your knowledge. You do it yourself. anybody who gives you information, just look at him as a teacher that could be wrong, just as much as we know the teachers in our schools are wrong. And double check their work, double check your work. But in the end, what I found was, and now you need to still watch it because you're not going to believe me, but the message in the end basically is the Bible is something that God definitely put here. Jesus definitely was on this plane of existence in our firmament dome. And it wasn't that we're supposed to preach to Jesus and stuff like that, in my opinion. Jesus showed us the way. He just, the Lord in flesh came down and showed us how to do it. I mean, it couldn't get any more simpler than that. I have to walk in the footsteps of Jesus. There's a story I walked in on when I went to the church last week about before Jesus went to get crucified, his last leg of the journey, and Peter walks up to him and asks him not to go because he knows he's going to get killed, and Jesus turns to him and basically says, "Cast out thee, Satan," or something like that. I'm just paraphrasing here, so don't get down on me I don't have my Bible with me right now to recite the exact verse, but it's in Peter. And anyway, so when they're in the Bible studies, they're saying, trying to reflect on, well, that couldn't possibly be Satan that they talk about elsewhere in the Bible. And it's like, no, of course not. But then what is Jesus referring to? And what it was, when you think about it, and if you really look in the Bible, Jesus never wanted to be preached to, nor did he, in my understanding, is taking something away, like that kind of gift. We still have to make that path ourselves. And what he was referring to Peter with his Satan was that he was thinking more of the flesh than he was the spirit. We don't have to worry ourselves about the flesh. I see this is, I think, the leap of faith that we have to make. The Bible reads out more like an inheritance too, and it's something that the elite couldn't get rid of. And you can see that in the legal system once you start looking. Like I said, double check everything with Marcus, look in your own law, and you'll see that, because I've been researching and I haven't found any fallacy to hit the whole thing. And it's really, really leading me to believe that flat earth is half the truth, and then Servant King exposes the rest of the truth. And once you understand that, it's even in the Bible. You can go back and read it. It's like the keys to the Bible. It makes you, or it gives you an understanding of the verses in a way that, like in James 2, it talks about the person, or in Corinthians, it talks about this whole paradigm of waking up, and the wise of the world will be fools and stuff like that. And it even talks about baptism, that you got to baptize yourself, and which it is too. When you think about baptism, when you're baptized as a baby, you haven't done any sins yet. So the baptism should come when you finally realize and accept your inheritance from God, which I'm a very logical person. I still only 10 months into this, so I have to double check some more stuff first before I really take that leap of faith. It might sound bad right now that I'm hesitant, but I'm just double checking my work, and the Bible is a big book, and it takes me it takes time to get through that too, so I have some more stuff to read there before I finalize my thoughts there, where I'm 100% comfortable to follow what I believe is the footsteps of Jesus Christ. And as I advise everybody to do, because if this is true, which I believe it is, then everybody's soul's at stake. And we need to really, if you care about your eternity, I advise you to go watch Servant King. Especially if you have a good understanding and you believe to yourself that the globe's a lie and there's more to this than what we've been told. And to me it reflects towards Genesis, the flat earth, the dome. I'm not sure if you subscribe to that, but if not, still, please watch Servant King. It's a must watch if you understand flat earth. And for those who haven't even heard about flat earth and stumbled onto this, I would advise you first go look at the proofs of, all the evidence against the globe. The proofs of the flat Earth, there's some, but to me the better evidence where you can easily prove to yourself, and that's what proved to me, was that the globe model does not work. There's way too much wrong with it. Everything that we research, from Einstein's theory of relativity that covers Newton's gravity and the way celestial mechanics work, to perception. Oh yeah, there's so much wrong with the globe. So, but anyway, I'll leave you with that. Make sure you go watch that series. Comment below if you have. I would love to get into hangouts and talk about the Servant King with people, because I think a lot of discussion needs to be done there, and I don't see pretty much anybody talking about it except for one person I bumped into on Facebook, and his story was remarkable. On the Hitching for Truth, I believe the episode should be there from our hangout. You can listen to it. Kind of woke me up, because he's the one who got me to look at the rest of the videos, which I didn't even know were there. I just quickly watched the 9. I was busy doing some other research at the time and getting prepped up for Hitching for Truth. So, but anyway, talk to you guys soon.